Greetings, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the very first episode of the DogeWalk Show. It's a new weekly show brought to you by CSGO.guru, a betting website. You can go check it out yourselves. I'm your host, Devilwalk. Uh, Many people of you know me from playing in Fanatic. A lot more people know me from coaching Fanatic, and a lot less know about me playing right now. Anyways, enough about me. I'd like to talk to you about the DreamHack Winter FaceIT Finals and the format, the group stage, how I think it will progress, my thoughts about the team, and every team in it, and the progression, as I said. So we'll start off with the format. It's a GSL group stage double elimination that actually continues to a semifinal single elimination bracket. So there's no quarterfinals. The quarterfinal is basically the last decider, the winner game and decider games and all that from the group stage. So the group A, the teams are Virtus Pro, TSM, Liquid, and Legacy. And we got group B, we got Envious, Luminosity, Fanatic, and NIP. So I have some stuff written down here. I wanted to collect my thoughts, and so we'll start off with explaining a bit about how I think Virtus Pro plays their game, and I will progress and talk about each and every team. So Virtus Pro, they're super explosive team. They they basically play a very slow paced style where they hold map control, they gain map control, and then all of a sudden, very explosive, just just like that, and all the action starts. And once the action actually starts, and I'm explaining this as from the perspective of the T side, they usually end up winning or losing the round within a very short time span. So it's a very explosive, a very fun, a very creative team in the way they approach the game, and it's super fun to watch. It's one of my favorite teams to watch for sure. And moving on to the second member of this group A is Team Liquid. So what's interesting about Team Liquid is they ever since they changed Hiko into the lineup, they've consistently progressed and become better and better. And with their coach James, who's basically they basically made the progression of defining the roles of each player more specifically, and what they're supposed to do in game, which is fun to watch, and it's fun to watch their development game to game and how they actually approach the game. So for me, it's fun, it's innovative, and you see the improvements in the rotation, all that kind of thing. You can go very deep into this, but we'll try to keep it simple. And moving on to TSM, very consistent in group stages. That's a very important and key element to consider here. They have a very defensive style in the way they play their CT sides. They've occasionally shown improvements where they, you know, gather map information so they can actually utilize rotations to get better. But individually, a super solid team. But the key component that they're super good is the team play combined with the defensive setups they have. So it's it's almost to a point where it's boring to watch, but they are like for me at least, like it's not as explosive as a Virtus Pro, but they are so good at it. They're so good at playing that defensive style, and one of my favorites for the group for sure. We got Legacy, who's for me very unknown. They brought up from the Australian scene. They was the winner of the four-way tie that the FaceIT League had, and for me, talking about legacy, it's more about talking about it's super nice to see, the Australian scene, rising. We got teams like Renegades, Immunity, and now we got this legacy team, which is fascinating, to be able to watch this and, basically, see how these youngsters know no-namers in the context of the very top of the European and North American scene can do in a European tournament like this at DreamHack Winter. It's going to be interesting to see. My predictions for Group A is actually TSM to be top, number one, and I don't see them winning a game against Virtus Pro, even or I don't see Virtus Pro winning against TSM, even though they're both very super solid teams, but I rate TSM a lot better. So I think they will top the group. I think Virtus Pro will be second, and I think Team Liquid and Legacy will have to settle with a third and fourth place. Um, Moving on to Group B, we got Envious, Luminosity, Fnatic, and NIP. So what's interesting if we start talking about Envious is a super raw like lineup of talent, considering the talent. They move into their positions, they kind of just smash their opponents with their individual skill. They play, it's not even like Virtus Pro an explosive style, it's more like they always are aggressive. And they just try to find the best aim duels they can all the time because they know how good they are, and that's a very very fun team to watch if you're looking for high quality individual skill in in a game. So they're definitely really really fun to watch, and they are my favorites for this group. There's just no doubts about it because they could be considered the best team in the world right now, or they are by most, even by me. Luminosity is the second group in the group B that I want to talk about. It's a very exciting lineup and exciting times basically when I'm making this video, because they recently changed Steel and Bolts, even with pretty good results considering, but they obviously want more, so they changed these two players and brought in FNX and Taco. uh, so I am a bit worried about them, but in general their style is, it's very very hard to gain an advantage, so to say, when you play against them, because they always keep their gaps closed. They play a very consistent way. They don't let things go to get other stuff in the same sense that maybe some European teams or NA teams does. They play a very secure T side style, I would say, and Fallen with the op key element. I think they're super strong in general, and their way they approach it is super solid. But I'm worried that the time frame of the changes will affect their gameplay, and I don't think that they will do very well in this tournament, considering the group they have as well. The next team is Fnatic. So it's a debut team again, with the changes of Pronax out and Dennis in. Pronax leaving Fnatic, lowering the tactical sense of Fnatic. But what's interesting is if Dennis could actually, gain that firepower, that maybe Fnatic can, challenge Envious in the individual skill. It's still, there to see once they fit all the pieces. Because remember that this is a relatively new change, and anything can happen. It depends how well they progress and fit into the lineup. But it's been looking really good so far for Fnatic. They've been doing really well. So I actually expect them and them to actually progress through the group. Even though we got the last team here, NIP, in this group stage. I'm a bit biased towards Fnatic, by the way. I'm sitting on an orange chair and shit. So we'll bloop that later. Anyways, NIP. So the question I have is, what magic will they show? So we've seen during a long period of time they've kind of progressed, and ever since these rumors of them splitting up, they've actually played better and better. Like they've let pressure go of themselves, because they have a lot of fans, they have a lot of pressure from the organization, and there's been troubles there, and the fans and all that kind of thing with them, kind of have inconsistent results. But they've actually, if you look at the pattern, consistently improved tournament to tournament, ever since those rumors appeared. because so it's gonna be very interesting what magic they will, bring. Um, and I actually think they have a upset potential to go after the or move on through the group stage, but it's still lower than potentially other teams. So my prediction basically is Envious number one, Fnatic number two, and Luminosity and IP have to share that third and fourth spot. And I actually think the tournament will kind of progress after that. If how I think is correct, then I think that Virtus.pro, TSM, Envious, and Fnatic will advance through to the semifinals. And my predictions, kind of how that will end up being, is a potential grand finals between TSM and Envious. But we won't go too deep into detail about that. But other than that, this is pretty much it for me. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and that the information you feel is valuable. But also, I want to remind you that I'm very open to feedback, and so you can leave comments below. You can even go to my Facebook page, Twitter. You can go, write a comment below, anything you'd like, and I'll make sure to take the time that I have to be able to answer all these questions that you may have. So I hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time.